think we'll roll with it. Start over. I was talking. All right.
Welcome back to the Maximum Chillage podcast. My name is Chewy Sanchez. With me, as always,
I am Tiki Mike.
and we have a very special guest today. Joining us for the very first time, long-time listener, first time sitting in the chair. Yeah, that's where you say your name.
Well, no, I think we should introduce him with all of his names.
Oh, I've got multiple. A few.
We got Sleazy Steven.
Nasty Steven.
We
Black
got
Steve.
Black Steven.
Nigga Steve, if you're feeling confident after a few drinks.
Sleazy Steven. The thing is about Steven that he'll never reveal to us. I'm not sure if he is actually black. He'll never tell us.
There's an elusiveness about him in all
And
I asked in all aspects.
And I asked him before we started this. I said, "Is it okay if I ask?" And he's like, "Well, I'm not going to tell you anyway." So
I'm going to leave that one a mystery.
Well, I will say this. When I first met Steven, we had a criminal justice class together in high school. And he seemed very polite and very...
one of the nicest guys I've ever met.
Well-mannered. And he would just say, "Well, hello there, Michael Steinhauer. Mr. Steinhauer. How are you doing?" And I'd be like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" And then he'd be like, "Well, I'm doing all right today." And he had an Obama... I mean, this was before Obama was elected. He had an Obama-esque presence about him. And I just figured he was a mulatto, a mixed child.
Is a mulatto?
A mulatto is a mixed half white, half black.
You mean Milano?
No, not Milano.
Are you guys talking about that Disney film, Mulan?
No.
She's pure Japanese, bro.
I
think she's Chinese.
You know, I thought you were a mixed person like me, but yeah, I don't know.
I'm sure I'm mixed. I mean, I'm brown and yet I'm Mexican, allegedly. From what my parents tell me.
But there's a curliness to your hair, though, when it's longer.
And a certain tone to my skin. I have questions, too, guys. I'm trying to get to the bottom of this, too. Hey, yo, no, shout out to Nick Sal, though, who's at City Lights tonight for, like, the fucking second time today. Shout out to Nick Sal. He's not maybe going to be at City Lights. He's at City Lights. He told me,
what I like
wanted me to reassure that he'd be out there.
That when he was on, I think we had a topic about how he didn't like strip clubs and that he didn't feel like he should go to them because it, you know, like he.
By the way,
had a
City
whole
Lights
thing
is a
about
strip
this.
club.
City Lights is a local strip club.
That's where Nick Sal is. Nick Sal, a faithful listener and a guest of the podcast. Steven,
a friend of the podcast.
A friend of the podcast. Steven, I just want to ask, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right.
You have work today?
Oh, yeah. No.
Actually,
no,
he switched shifts to get on with us.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
He's a nice-ass dude.
Thank you for doing that.
Nestor was hungover the other day, and I was like, yeah, man, I mean, I'll help you this time.
Nestor, another non-friend of the podcast.
A friend of me of the podcast.
Nestor is actually banned from this podcast.
Actually, I was there with him, I think, the day that the day before when he got that hungover. He was opening, right? Oh yeah.
I feel like he's trying to infiltrate this podcast to take it down, so he's never allowed. We have Nasty Steven, who's a connoisseur of online dating, so that's what he wants to talk about today, and he has a lot of interesting stories. So we're going to get to that.
Some would call him a sexpert.
Yeah, some would call him a sexpert. And
the stamina for that kind of headline.
And he's also the only guy I ever knew who threw not one but multiple house parties. And we're going to talk about that with him. Just his life as the host of a house party. And so let's get to it. You guys are drinking some IPAs. I'm actually sick because Michael Steinhauer, I feel like he got me sick.
Well, we're one Bud Ice in, and we're trying some IPAs. I bought a pack of IPAs for days pack, which is a 4-pack. I only brought 2
Where did
of
you
them.
buy that?
Bought it at my work.
Okay.
Yeah.
IPAs for days.
IPAs for days. I just they're all Sierra Nevada bullshit. I know I don't really care for their regular flagship IPA, but they had 3 others in there. They had one that I've tried that I did like, the Tropical Torpedo, which again I'm going to bring this out again that there's one right here that's been here for over 2 months because
Christ.
Chewy won't drink it apparently.
He's gonna drink it someday.
Yeah,
I thought about icing it today, but I didn't.
I want to see that.
Today I brought their red IPA and their no good IPA.
It's nice.
It's
It's nice to have
IPA.
beer back on this podcast. It's been 30.
Yeah.
We're 30 episodes deep today. It's a milestone, and for a long time we were having a lot of beer on this podcast, and we kind of stopped. But it's cool to have beer back on the podcast. I felt like it was getting a little redundant, but it was nice to take a break.
Well,
No,
it was
definitely.
getting redundant because I don't think we were trying too many things.
Yeah, beer's back.
Man's got to have his beer.
I mean, we don't have to critique the beer so much, but I think the beer should be present regardless. Yeah.
Definitely, Michael. What's going on in the world of Michael Steinhauer?
What's going on in the world of Michael Steinhauer is the same answer as last week. Nothing is going on in the world of Michael Steinhauer.
I have an apology to do. This will be a week of a double episode because I forgot to upload the episode on last Friday.
No way.
I forgot to upload it. So this week you're going to get a double dose. Or actually, since you're here, and this is the only time I talk to you is when you are here,
Yeah, I know.
everybody thinks that Michael and I have a real relationship going on here. Nah,
Oh, yeah.
he shows up once a week.
Like a sexual relationship or like...
It's been alleged once.
Alleged. Allegedly.
We were once in high school referred to as butt buddies.
We're going to keep that a mystery, though.
That was a thing, but we still Kevin Smith's phrase, and I like it. I think it explains us. We are heterosexual life partners.
Yeah.
You don't have to see each other. 5
Speaking
fucking
of that
days
piece
a
of
week.
shit, Kevin Smith.
Oh, he's a fucking.
Who's
he's
that?
fallen from my
He's
graces,
an idiot,
dude.
He's a guy who's an idiot. I'll talk to
Sanger
you.
banger?
He's a director. No, he might as well have been. He could have fit in.
Yeah, he's a piece of
director
shit.
of Clerks and Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. All
So,
of those
I listened to
movies.
The
his
guy with the long
podcast.
shorts?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
with the
Hockey jersey.
awkward, embarrassing hockey jerseys that he just won't just like go to the gym and lose some weight. He's got all the free time in the fucking world, and he just fucking decides to just live his life like
So
that.
I listened to
like,
the podcast Fat Man on Batman. It's one of the only podcasts that I listen to. Even though I don't like the guy, I still listen to his podcast. That's his podcast.
I like him somewhat. I still do.
So he was talking the other day about how he's like, I had a real Hollywood day, and his co-hosts didn't really like engage him. I had a really Hollywood day. He's like, well, what'd you do? It's like, well, I went over to Netflix, and I tried to pitch them a show, and then I realized nobody wants my bullshit. And it's like, yeah, dude, your shit fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Everything that you produce fucking sucks.
They probably saw the low downloads of his fucking daughter plugged movies. He keeps on plugging his daughter in these terrible movies.
Which,
that
if
he's been doing
if I
lately.
do remember correctly, she's pretty spice, right?
No,
No?
she's not.
Oh,
I don't think so. At
okay.
least she's not ugly. I just don't think she's.
The spice is nice.
The spiciness on the radar of spicy.
What's the
it's a
skosh
low.
level?
She's not a ghost pepper. If that means anything.
So
She's your run of the mill.
speaking of Kevin Smith,
jalapeno maybe.
speaking of Kevin Smith, and Kevin Smith talks a lot about comic book stuff. Black Panther. You guys watch it?
I did.
How did you like it? So let's have a little Michael Steinhauer movie review
Okay.
because this is a big one.
All right.
One of the biggest movies
All
of the
right.
year.
And we got Black Steven here.
And we got Black Steven here for
I
the
wa- I
release
wanna
of Black
hear it.
Panther.
Okay,
I hear good things.
I like the movie. I will say that the pacing could have been a little bit better. It could have moved a little bit faster. I'm going to say. Overall,
I gotta say,
overall,
I don't know
did
anything about
like
Black
it.
Panther, so break it down for me.
What Black Panther?
Yeah,
who
break
he is?
down who he is, why, and
Okay,
so let's do it. Let's break it
okay.
up this way. What's the story about? Why is it so significant right now?
All right.
And why was it dubbed the biggest movie of the year? Go ahead.
Okay, so Black Panther. Okay, so Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, two of the major titans of Marvel. They in the 70s or no, I think it was late 60s, like 67. I think before the Black Panther Party had actually been created, they realized that they didn't have any major black superhero characters, and they decided to make a character. He was going to be from a fictional country in Africa called Wakanda. They were going to be a country that had never been colonized.
So let's pause right there.
All right.
So people are making it seem as if there had never been a black superhero.
Oh, I am gonna say, they're
like,
now,
it's been a long time coming, and you're
No,
just telling me right now that it was the 60s that Stan Lee decided to make this
no.
character.
They're talking about movies.
I understand movies.
A major
but
movie.
I don't think that everybody thinks that, though.
But again, there were 2 major movies. One that had 3 or 4
Blade?
fucking sequels. Blade.
My
Blade
favorite
is
Marvel
sick.
movie.
Blade is
1
sick.
and 2. 3.
Dude. Yeah, you could debate that, and that weird 4th one that doesn't actually have Wesley Snipes.
There was a 4th one.
There's a 4th one. You can find the 4-pack DVD.
YouTube that when I get it?
Oh, dude, you don't even need to see it. I've never seen it. I don't miss it.
Is this like Anaconda 3 with David Hasselhoff? And it's like, well, fuck.
Yeah, dude, pretty much, man. It's like, it's something that should have been on sci-fi, daytime, fucking shit. Nothing that should have ever been produced. I don't think it was produced in major theaters or released.
Daytime sci-fi.
But yeah.
So Blade, and what was the other one?
Blade is a fucking sick ass character,
Uh-huh.
and he was a black lead in the role. The other one is Spawn. Spawn was a huge.
I forgot about that one.
Comic book character. He wasn't Marvel. He wasn't DC. That was a different comic book company.
Remember Spawn?
What was that
Spawn
guy's
was
original
sick as
name?
fuck.
Michael J. White, the actor who played Spawn.
Oh, the actor who's played Spawn. I didn't know.
He's ripped to shreds these days. I'm a fan of great physiques, and he's doing so many great movies these days. You got the Undisputed One. No, he wasn't in Undisputed 1. He was in Undisputed 2. He's got a few other good ones, but he's just great martial artist, great action movies, fighting, brawling. For the Spawn remake, who's this new actor?
Or are they doing a Spawn remake?
There's a Spawn remake that's going on.
Oh, dude, I didn't even know that. That's awesome.
Pumped for it, I was, but I guess, what's his name? The rapper?
Oh, who are they choosing to play him?
Django, that guy.
Oh, Jamie Foxx?
Jamie Foxx is really pursuing that role, but Jamie Foxx ain't fucking shredded like Michael J. White, man. Like, we need Michael J. White to redo Spawn.
That'd be with a better storyline. Honestly, I watched that movie, and so much of the practical effects still stand up, but it was just that CGI was so new, and the weird hell scenes are just like kind of comical and not good today. And like, if they had today's CGI mixed with the practical effects that they used then, like his suit was sick as fuck. The animatronic, what was he? Not Vindicator, whatever the fuck that guy is. The clown's real name. I think he's the Violator. Okay, yeah. When he turns into that other creature, he looked sick as fuck, and his little fight scenes with Spawn were sick as fuck. And again, it was not CGI that was being used for those scenes, and I think that's why those scenes still stand up. And all the CGI from that movie, where he goes to hell and he visits that other like devil dude, don't stand up today. It would be cool to see a new Spawn with today's effects, as long as they still use some of that practical effects stuff.
Oh, that's awesome. I highly agree.
Yeah. But so people do forget about Spawn. They do forget about Blade, and even though Blade had 3 major movies, so the reason that Black Panther is big is because it depicts a country in Africa that was never colonized, is highly advanced in technology. They have the source of vibranium that is very rare to the outside world, but they use for themselves.
Vibranium now, is that the stuff they use to make the vibrators go?
Yeah. No, it's Captain America's shield, all that bullshit. Anyways, so the movie has a little of touches on a lot of social issues around the world and in the U.S., and so I think that's why it's also big. I
saw the lines. I saw lines to the theaters, and they were out the door.
You know what? I'm gonna also going to say is that you could talk about Spawn, you could talk about Blade, but they weren't an overwhelmingly black cast. This was a major black cast in a major superhero movie. Very few white characters. There were other characters, but it wasn't. The overwhelmingly presence was black. The director also was black, which is not done that many times, and so in a lot of senses it was a black movie. when I went, there were a lot of black people in the audience. There's a couple people in dashikis, picks in the afro, and I was like, that's fucking sick. Cool, man. So yeah, it's the representation was coming out. Also, the day that it released, I check fucking receipts all fucking day. I'm at the X store. I see this little boy, and he was a little black boy, and he had a Black Panther mask, and he had a Black Panther shirt. And I thought, that's dope. And, and I was like, oh, are you going to go see the movies? Like, he was super excited. So part of it is that kids have never had a black superhero to look up to that they could identify with. And when I saw that kid in the line and I was like, oh, you're going to go see the movie? He was so super pumped. Kid was like 8 years old. I mean, it's nice to see that he has somebody to look up to that's in a positive figure in the movies that's not, associated with fucking drugs and other bullshit that a lot of black characters usually are associated with in movies. So
what about Will Smith in Wild Wild West?
Oh, dude. We're going to talk about Will Smith in Wild Wild West. That is a terrible movie.
Barely remember that one.
I loved the storyline of the music video way more than the storyline of the actual movie.
So I did definitely see that in the news and stuff that there were a lot of black kids in inner cities that people were buying
tickets. It was the oh, you know what? This will lead into another subject. There was the Black Panther challenge, which was where, hey, buy tickets for kids. And so that was the hashtag Black Panther challenge, and people were posting like, I'm buying these kids tickets to the movies. These kids that don't have any money, I want them to go see the movie. And so that was cool. But something happened this week that derailed the Black Panther challenge hashtag.
Oh, no.
And that was the Black China challenge hashtag. I don't know if you're aware of this.
I'm not. I saw something about Black China. I haven't been on social media that much.
She released she didn't release it.
A sex tape, right?
A sex tape was leaked.
Oh, wow.
I saw a fourth of it. It was all right. Right before I got here, actually. It was on Pornhub or X videos. Not too sure. It was there.
A lot of people were blasting her and saying that her head game was weak. And a ton of people hashtag Black China Challenge hashtag on Twitter and showed their head game.
Jesus Christ.
And it derailed the Black Panther Challenge hashtag.
That's comedy.
It's Twitter evolves in a minute, and it's sad because it's Black History Month. It's February. Black Panther is the biggest movie in the box office, and it can't survive one weekend without Black China derailing it with a weak head game, and people try to up to the challenge and say, you know what, my head game's not weak. I'll post it to Twitter, and that's
Black China,
sad.
Man. Her and Rob Kardashian just have the worst relationship in the world. On Christmas, I don't know if it was Christmas this year or Christmas last year. I'm not sure. I forget what these things. She took Rob Kardashian's kid that they had together.
Yeah,
and he was like posting on Twitter, just like really sad, like trying to be funny about it. Like he photoshopped her face on the Grinch. And said that she stole everything from his house, even the Sweet Baby Ray's out of the fridge. It was really sad. But
I sympathize with him at times, but then I see, I know that he posted her nudes on his Instagram for like a minute.
That was in retaliation.
And this along with the leaked video, it's a revenge porn thing. Apparently, the guy that she was with in the video. Was posting it as revenge because they were no longer together. It is a bad thing. I mean, with the Me Too movement, like this is also
Ray J
part of it.
wrote a whole song
think,
about Kim Kardashian.
Did he really?
Yeah.
After?
Yeah. The whole song's about her.
Was it a club banger?
It was. Mm-hmm. It was. I would love to play a little bit for you right now, but this is on iTunes and you can't play anybody else's music. I'll play you the song after. If you don't already know. If you just look up Ray J on Spotify, it's probably his number one
just
song.
Just check out Ray J Club Banger, and it'll post up.
Yeah. So speaking of club bangers, we got Nasty Steven in the house, who's been known for his dance moves.
He's known for his dance moves. I've seen the snaps.
Always shaking. I've
seen the
funny
snaps,
story,
man.
though, back to online dating. This gal recently on the
No,
Bumble.
we haven't started to online dating.
the
Let me
online
jump.
dating.
Let me jump to this one because this one's good.
All right.
Sweet gal.
He's
I
running
never.
the game. He's running the game.
You never want to be a prick ever, especially to the ladies. But this gal hits me up. Hi, how's it going? So
On
I take
what? On
the Bumble
Tinders?
app,
Bumble, also
Tinder's
another
cousin?
dating app.
Tinder's cousin.
and she goes, well, she's got like all this satanic shit on her IG because like you could tag your Bumble's interesting. You could tag.
Can
your,
we introduce this segment first?
Yeah,
You
let's
might
let's
be-
introduce
you
this
jumped right
segment
into
before
it.
we jump
You
into
jumped
it.
right
It's a
into
good
it.
story.
We're getting
It's-
forget
we'll
the
get to
second.
it.
We're
Let's
gonna
get
let
into
you.
it.
We're
We'll
gonna,
get to it.
yeah, we're getting to it.
Nasty Steven is known for his online dating stories. Just whenever I see him, he has a new story about a new person he's met, an experience that he's had, and I would say he's a connoisseur of online dating. And we're going to talk about it with him because that's his area of expertise is online dating. And let's just let you get to the story now. I just wanted to let them know why you were just jumping into that.
No, there are definitely some really interesting stories as far as online dating goes. There were times where, like, you talk to your friends, I met this really crazy girl last week, and you're like, she wasn't crazy, you guys just weren't vibing. No, there's some there's some screws loose in some people out there. I can guarantee that. That's for sure.
How many people have you met online?
I don't have a number. It's like on the streets or like through
Like,
messages.
No, online.
How
What do you
many
mean
people
on
have
the
you met
streets?
in person?
No,
from
in person.
The map?
In person from various apps.
Oh, I mean, I would have to like
Oh,
think about it and write it down. So I wouldn't.
let me ask you this:
How much
Is
money
it,
have
is,
you
is it-
spent?
Is it higher?
Oh, there you go. That's,
wait, hold on a
another
second.
question.
No, is
Too
it
much.
higher than 20?
I've been doing this since 2010, 11.
Okay.
So it's been a while.
And you haven't met
Okay.
anybody good.
There were some good ones.
No. Yeah,
there were some-
I will not say
there was some
names.
heartbreaks,
Okay,
some
can I name
808s, some
drop? Can I
heartbreaks.
name drop
Name drop who? Oh,
Just
certain individuals.
certain individuals? I know there was one.
Yeah, I'll get into the stories. I'll reveal their
I
names.
just thought her name was interesting.
Whose?
I want to
that-
say
that
I want to
one's
say
got
her
a
name
name.
was a word. It was a noun.
I
You
wanna
know what I'm
hear
talking
it.
about?
No, bring
I'll
it
let
up.
let's let him get
Spit
into
it out.
Okay.
Spit.
Charity.
Charity.
Oh yeah,
There was-
she was cool for a second.
All right.
I
So,
just thought that
Let's
was an
let-
interesting
so-
name.
ladies and gentlemen, let's let Nasty Steven take the floor.
Take the
it
floor,
away.
Stephen. Let us know about this girl.
Let us know
Not
about-
Charity, the one you were talking
Let's
about.
go back to the Bumble story.
Bumble story. Back to the dance moves. I think we were talking about. We were talking about.
Satanic girl
'Cause
who
I
has
like the
screws
shit
loose.
shake.
Yeah, she had satanic shit on her IG.
So Bumble and Tinder, like, they let you, like, post your Instagram and like the artists you're listening to, and this gal had her Instagram, so I was like, I'll go through a few photos, and she's got like some satanic voodoo shit, I'm a witch kind of stuff, and it was like, oh no, like, are you just saying that? Like, do you actually like practice this shit? Because I'm not willing to find out, like, who wants to?
Yet you
And,
still
Yeah, no.
messaged her.
Oh, I have to, because I'm a nice guy, like, I'm just busy is my line. But she said on my profile, my Bumble right now, it says just looking for a dance partner, like to shimmy and shake. And she was like, well, do you know how to two-step? I was like, man, I'm more of like a hips don't lie kind of guy.
What?
And she goes, so does that mean you like to Cupid shuffle? To where I go, bitch, I love to Cupid shuffle. That track hits the ground, I'll be out there eating cake or some ceviche. I'm gonna be out there. Moving's just fun. But I mean, I recommend it, but with caution, of course. One of the more memorable stories I could remember as far as online dating goes was meeting these women who did not look like their profile pictures.
Ooh.
And you just got to suck it up and be like, what are you going to do? Like, leave?
Walk away?
Well, like, they
Make
got to
it
pay for your
even
meal?
more
Like,
awkward?
no, you don't do that. Get gentlemen all the way. That's just not right in my book. So it just turns into like a friendly meal, like you just want to, like I'm here to like, how's your day going kind of stuff. One of my favorite stories as far as that goes is this girl who I tried really long and hard to actually meet. And when I finally met her in the Star Club, she looks at me and she goes, "Wow, you look just like your profile picture." She did not look anything like her profile picture. I'm currently talking to her again. What's up, What's up, Christy?
Okay, let me stop you for a second. You said that she doesn't look like her profile picture.
She did not.
Good or bad?
Her profile picture.
Good angles.
But you're still
Wait,
you're
hold on a
talking
second.
to her
Wait.
again.
Her profile picture looked more flattering than she did in real life. But you continued to choose.
You see past
to
that.
see her.
Oh, interesting
Was
that
her
you say that. It was maybe a 5-year hiatus till I saw her again.
Oh shit!
I went Facebook creeping. I got curious, The assets were good, but didn't really match up to the picture. Found out she was going through like a rough relationship, lost a ton of weight, got braces. I don't know why her teeth were okay. Now she's looking great now. Yeah.
Oh my god!
Shout out to you, Christy.
All right, Steven.
All right, man.
Scary dating stories though. Again, you're meeting these random strangers who I didn't know at the time they could copy and paste, download these images from online, right? And slap onto the profiles. I mean, this is early 2000, So
So they didn't have the Google search image shit yet.
We didn't have a reverse Google image search, nothing like that.
Okay.
People could slap up these IG models, and you'd be like,
dang,
I'm set.
All right.
Well, I used to know people. I'm not going to name drop.
Name drop. We just name drop the girl I'm talking to.
No, there was a guy that we knew who said that he had a girlfriend all the time.
Oh yeah.
He's like, yeah, I have a girlfriend, and it's like, oh yeah, where is she? I don't think we're talking about the same guy.
Oh, are we? Okay, go ahead.
I'm sure most people do this then.
There's been a couple catfishing situations that we knew about.
Okay, so this guy just straight up said that he had a girlfriend, and she was very attractive, and he just kept saying, yeah.
I know who you're talking about now.
And he was always talking about his girlfriend, posting Woman Crush Wednesdays, and then he started to realize this guy's never met this girl. He's together with somebody who's not real. And I think he finally figured it out, but it wasn't until after weeks of fake Woman Crush Wednesdays. It's like you don't even think do you even try to?
Was that the one where you said, "Hey," a long time after you ran into him, and you were like, "Hey, whatever happened to your girlfriend or whatever?" And he was like, "I met her. I went and I saw her, and she was cheating with another guy." And I said, "You whore." You whore. You know which one I'm talking about? Is that the same one? That was a different one?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Well, you were telling me about this. It was a friend of mine more than yours. And you were telling me about him. And you were saying that he was it was kind of like a fake story that he made up that didn't happen. But it was one of those situations where I think he was getting catfished.
I want to know.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
I'll talk to you about it later. I'll remember.
What's the biggest that you've ever been catfished?
Oh no, yeah, I want there's a somewhat of a catfish that I want to bring up that if he hasn't already brought up.
Yeah, bring it up now.
Okay, you said some people don't appear to be who they are. If I remember, one time you showed up and you met the girl. And she turned out not to be the age that she posted.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You see, I would have never remembered that one. That's scary.
It's scary. It's a legal matter.
3 years ago, I was 25, 26. And this really attractive girl I met on another... I mean, I've got multiple dating sites, but some I stick more to others. I don't really use them too much right now because I'm kind of talking to this gal, but... At the same time, a man's got to have his freedom. Man's got to have his beer. So, this gal's loving my jokes. I'm not very funny. We're just moving and grooving, just getting along. And I was like, well, girl, I'm going to take you out to Famous Dave's. And we're just going to have some ribs, and it's going to be nice. And she's like, oh, I'd love to get my fingers sticky. And I was like, oh, it's going to be great. She's like, can we have sex in the car? I was like, okay. But the day of the actual meet, you know, I'm suited and booted. I got the button down, slacks looking clean, shoes somewhat clean. The cologne's definitely on point. I don't leave that house without good cologne.
May I ask what brand?
Oh, I got multiple. I got Dolce & Gabbana light blue, Dolce & Gabbana regular, Gucci by Gucci. My favorite right now is Victor and Rolf Spice Bomb. That's just a great all-time favorite. Some Giorgio Armani. But you know, I just like to just smell good for the ladies. So
I want to break it right there. I don't want to knock you or anything, but he's naming all this fancy fragrances. This is coming from the same guy. To one night we watched Sausage Fest on his bed on a tablet or something.
By the way, you guys can never sit on my bed ever again.
4 guys on a bed.
Multiple occasions, swamp ass, smears on my bed. You guys are not sitting on my bed anymore.
100 degrees outside. His light is like a 70s.
Blame it on the temperature. So I pick up this girl. No, I don't pick up this girl. I'm about to pick up this underage.
Oh
my god, how old is she? Like 16 or something?
16.
She goes, by the way, I'm actually a runaway from home.
Oh,
and I'm
I didn't know that part.
16 something, and I'm like, what? Like, so I'm thinking, you know, she's really cute. Maybe I could just Google this, like, see how much trouble I can get in. No, it's $100,000 fine and some jail time. I told her, no, this isn't gonna happen.
I just see this happening. I just
Were you making other conversation while you Google this shit?
Oh yeah, no, I was like, I'm on my way.
Pretending like you're texting and you're just Googling?
Yep.
All right.
And that was a bull dodge, but you know, it's interesting though, because I think one kid in some state not too far from here got in trouble for an act like that, but didn't find out her age until like after they met up, after they did, you know, their thing. And the judge is like, no, I'm throwing the book at you. And it's like, why? Like, this kid went on this website.
Yeah,
this girl's
it's supposed
of
to
age,
be 18.
you know, and she wasn't, but the website's saying she is, and yet he's in trouble. Like,
You could put all the blame on me.
Yeah,
That's what the song's about.
Yeah, that's literally what did in Akon, dude. That's why all of his songs start with jail bars.
Is he like R. Kelly though?
That's why he's a convict.
No. R. Kelly knew well what he was doing. Akon was just at a club, you know? It was a 21 and older club.
That's
How
what
did he
she
know?
said.
How did he know that she was underage, you know?
You just put the blame on him.
You can put the blame on him. That's an old reference.
That was a bullet dodge though, definitely.
But so there's your underage story.
Let me ask you this, without name dropping, because we did name drop earlier today.
Sorry, Kristen.
But sorry, Kristen. Sorry, Chastity. Sorry, whoever the fuck we've name dropped other than that today. Without name dropping.
Fuck Nestor.
I believe that you also matched with a former supervisor of yours at the time. How did that go down? You know which one I'm talking about?
No,
because you told me about it.
Again, Mike, there have been countless interactions.
You were
a lot
on Tinder. You were matching with people.
So why Tinder?
And you happened to match with a supervisor that you had, and not one that you were necessarily attracted to, but you were like, all right, I'll go with this because it's a supervisor.
Yeah, just being nice. Hi, how's it going? I'll dick you down for a raise.
So this is a question that you brought up earlier when I said that we were going to talk about this.
I have another one about.
We will.
Tinder.
We'll get back to it.
Okay.
So why do you choose online dating rather than, like you said, just being
Going
in the club
to a bar,
and walking
going to
up
a
to
club?
them? And do you think that this facilitates kind of like it's kind of taking away from
spontaneity
of
like, oh, I'm in the bookstore. And
will 16-year-olds now be able to go up to women, or will women be able to go up to men in real life
without,
if they want to,
pre-designated terms on online dating?
Yeah.
That's
I don't know if they'll be able to.
That's a really good question.
Is that hindering communication skills person-to-person communication skills.
That's a real ass question. That's a question for fucking psychologists and shit.
Yeah.
It's interesting you say that because everybody gets lonely. Everybody wants to meet someone that, they could just wake up next to and just eat pizza with and watch Netflix, It's just good times. But as long as there's these news stories of these kids getting abducted on the first date and raped and tortured, people read this shit and they get real into it, me especially.
And those are big dangers of online dating.
Oh, of any people you meet
True.
anywhere
That's
at
very
all
true.
times. And this is what kind of, I guess you could say, saved me a lot of money as far as going out, taking them on dates, buying them stuff, putting gas in my car. Kind of like the realness of all this is, I did try the actual
Traditional
casual,
dating.
My father's approach on meeting women, but it, I remember suiting up one day. I was like, man, I'm going to suit up. I'm going to go to Tower. I'm going to look fly and see if I meet someone. And I would approach women and be like, hi, my name's Steven. Didn't come with anybody tonight. I was hoping maybe I could take you out. Would you like to dance? Before I said all this stuff. And they would kind of eyeball me. They'd have to ask the friend, I don't know, can we trust him? I don't know. We just met this guy. Can you trust him?
Oh shit.
Maybe have some kind of a mysterious face to where they're not sure.
What's in your name?
What's weird is that meeting somebody in person, it was almost like a less trustworthy thing than meeting somebody online who you don't even know.
That's what I'm saying. It's completely
they're looking like the same person.
Kind of like on Taken, where it's like, hello, taxis are so expensive. Here, would you like to share? Fucking Giorgio Armani, jump in the taxi with me. Yeah, sure. It's who can you really trust out there? So I was getting a lot of that as I was going out. So in the end, not really meeting a lot of people, getting some numbers, not hitting you back the next day, completely cool. People are going to do what they do. I was like, I'm just going to put this app up, put me and a bunch of my friends, what I'm about. You like me, hit me up. I think some girls were more comfortable with voice calls. I'm sorry, not voice calls, video calls.
Okay.
To where it's you on the other end, you're just talking to these people and just getting to know one another. And definitely, if you're going to do the online dating, I highly recommend a public place, people there. If you don't feel safe, let management know,
Let management know.
Yeah, I mean, I work at a Jamba Juice. A lot of kids like to randomly meet up at Jamba Juice.
Oh shit! So people have come up to you and said, "Hey, I'm meeting somebody here. Just watch out for me."
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, for sure. Let me know how it goes, and they give me the slit throat. This ain't going well.
Wow, dude, I'm actually surprised. Wow.
Yeah.
That people are so open to talking to the workers. They're saying
that's
a smart thing.
Mm-hmm.
That they should be doing that, because there are those stories where it's somebody is fucking missing now from a dating site.
Yep.
or even the Uber thing. There was recently a driver that's missing, and I think they haven't found him yet, and they think it was connected to his last rider or something like that. Or one of his riders that night.
I had a friend who got raped by an Uber driver one time.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah, she was trashed. He's like, hey, I've got this party I'm gonna go to. She was like, oh, let's party. She was all trashed. They went back to his place, and
she rode alone. She rode alone
in
the Uber.
Drove her back home. Yeah, she was trashed.
Shit, man. Did she at least complain about it online?
No, she was too trashed to even remember any of this.
That's sad.
Probably wasn't her phone she used Uber from.
And that's a sad situation. With
there
even
are
Uber
cautions,
apps.
though there are a lot of variables that can happen in life, which is why maybe going out and meeting someone for the first time at a club, random spot, isn't the best idea. Maybe you actually need to invest some time to get to know them and decide from there whether or not they're worth pursuing. It's just so crazy, how many serial killer, how many people are curious about actually.
That's a good point. I wonder if rapes and murders are down because of online dating, that buffer now. Because there was a lot of serial killers back in the day. If you look, Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker. There's a bunch of those tons of.
I think the FBI statistic is that there are 20 some active serial killers at any moment in the U.S. That there are 20 people actively not caught or under suspicion yet that are serial killing.
And I wonder if that was up before. I mean, Ted Cruz, the Zodiac killer.
Well, do you think? Are you saying that social media allows you to check these people beforehand?
Yeah.
Or
So,
that social
that's what
media.
I'm wondering.
Or that social media creates the buffer of security and posing as someone else that allows them.
No.
You know what?
That-
I think you're right. I think it would track them down sooner because a lot of that stuff is traced and easy to find, whether it's Facebook messages, text messages. Technology has been so invasive in a way that some people are uncomfortable with, but it also makes us a little bit more secure in knowing who the fuck that people are actually connecting with.
I actually saw a whole show on TLC about parents who were consulting this nerd. It was just like a nerdy guy. And he's like, "Hi, I'm a social media expert." And he's just a weird, nerdy guy. He would go to their kid's page. And he's like, "Yeah, she likes art and this and that. And they're underage kids." And he creates a underage profile of a guy to try and get them to come out and see if they'll meet a stranger.
Oh.
And they would. And
well, let me ask you this.
the stranger wouldn't be there. It would be their parents. And they're like, "What are you doing meeting strangers online?"
Let me ask you this. Okay, so we were at the foreground of this in a way.
Yeah.
We were 14, 12 when it actually started happening, 15 when it was popular, when social media started taking off, and social media became a thing where you met people online. Did you meet anybody when you were underage, when you didn't know who they were? And actually, I just remembered a story where you did, and you met somebody that ended up like over the age. I think you knew that.
He's got
before.
a great memory, Mike Stein.
But
Yeah, I have a question for you,
you had
Steven.
a fucking tennis game with this person, and you were like 17, 16, and they were like 20.
I have a
Oh,
question.
sure. You trying to divert this question though? What's going on?
How did you know where my bathroom was? That's what
He's been here before, dude.
I have a flashlight on my phone.
He asked me. I asked him, "Hey, do you know
When have you
where
been to
his
my
house
house?
is?"
It
I
was
said,
maybe
"Hey, you know where
5,
his
6
house
years ago.
is?" And he said, "Yeah, I remember." And I was like, "All right."
Yep.
He wasn't completely sure when he was outside your house. Like, "Hey, it's the one on the corner, right?"
He told me 8. I was here at 7:59, and I was like, "Where you at?"
Yeah, I came here at like 8:06.
He's always late.
8,
And you were here the whole time, and you didn't get the door from me. You're the worst.
Did you ring the doorbell?
Hey,
No, I
no,
didn't.
but I did text him like, "Hey, Steven," I did text him like, "Hey, Steven's outside. I'm on my way. I'm almost there." He didn't come out to greet you, dude.
I think that's what I was on my way. I was walking out.
Chewy is sick. Then again,
All right.
I am sick.
I don't feel too good.
So you think that social media has made
What
people
you're saying
more
about the
safe?
person that I met, they weren't a complete stranger. I had an idea about who they were.
Okay,
So
but they were over the age and you were underage.
I think I knew that the whole time.
Well, you knew that the whole time.
They knew that too.
Oh, that's creepy, isn't it?
I don't know.
When you think about it.
So
Also,
I'm not going to
because
debate about this.
No,
I'll talk about it.
No name dropping. This was a cousin of somebody that you were dating.
I was dating somebody, and they had broken up with me, and their cousin had taken a keen liking to me, who was older and more attractive. So I said, "Fuck, well, anyway, your cousin's hotter." I said, "Yeah, I'll hang out with you." And she was older than me. I think I was 17. I think she was around 20. But I mean, I think that's weirder from her part.
It is weirder from her part. But you still went out and met them. Now, if you were a female,
But I knew who they were,
No,
though.
let me ask you this.
It was her cousin.
Let me ask you this. You're a female. Same situation. A cousin of an ex. They're a male.
She dropped in my DMs.
They're 20 years
So
old.
you want to hang out?
No,
was like,
I know.
Yeah, sure.
Hey, there's no fault on you on this.
Whatever.
But I'm reversing a situation here.
Was that a tennis joke?
Oh,
No fault.
No fault. That's good. No. Okay, so no fault to your own. You're a 17-year-old girl. You broke up with your ex, right?
This sounds like a choices game that I play on my phone.
You're a 17-year-old
What
girl.
app is this?
What's my choice?
The cousin of your ex, who's 20 years old, hits you up, gets into your DMs, says, "Hey, let's meet for a tennis game." You
On
know?
the app, that's usually where I'll press yes.
So is it dangerous for a 17-year-old girl to meet a 20-year-old dude who she knows?
I think
Even with social media, knowing
I don't
who the
think
fuck
so.
they are. No?
no, because I think the whole when you're 20 and you're like, oh, I can't hang out with them. They're 17. You look at 20-year-olds now and you're like, oh, that kid's a kid.
That's true.
They're a fucking. They're
That's
a
fucking
kid.
True.
Yeah.
Very true.
You put a lot of
I almost
emphasis.
considered 20-year-olds high
So now let me
schoolers.
ask you
You
this:
put a lot of emphasis
do you
on
feel
that
like the
age.
age of consent should be raised, lower?
I mean, that could be changed. That's a variable that could be changed by going to another state.
Isn't it? Isn't it 17 in Germany or something like that?
In the
It's
United
16
States,
in
it's
a lot
16
of
in the most of
places.
the
You heard it here
country.
first. Let's talk about my house parties, though.
All right.
he's
so
done
we're
with
moving
this.
past
He's done with
the
this.
online dating.
Yeah. So, Nasty Steven. Speaking of underage,
Oh yeah.
Oh, speaking of
me
underage
have it.
gatherings,
Let me have it.
with older gatherings.
so this is one of those things where I was thinking, man, I'm too old to be here. Looking back on it, I was about the right age to be there. And Steven used to have raging house parties at his house. He was known as the house party guy.
I started going when I was 22,
Let me set the scene for you. Let me set the scene for you. It's a house out in the country,
right outside of town.
right outside
Maybe
of town,
3 minutes drive from town.
but far enough that you don't have to worry about any neighbors.
Enough vineyards where it's okay.
The
Yeah.
cops
to be
never
loud as
showed up.
fuck.
The cops don't show up.
No
you can be as
fucking
loud
raids.
as you want.
No fucking helicopters.
Lots of-
no ghetto birds.
Lots of parking.
Lots
of parking.
in the lot next door.
Yeah. And Steven just had these rages with copious amounts of alcohol and lots of underage
You're
people.
welcome.
And I just want to.
Well, let me say this: when I first started going, I was 22. I first
I
started
was also
going,
22.
and I was like, "Oh, Steven, I remember that guy." And I went to his house, and it was this party in his backyard. That was a nice fucking large backyard.
You really think about Project X? If you drank enough for locals, it was like that.
It's a big backyard.
There was a lot of the same dubstep songs going on.
Oh, even better. I saw the movie.
But
Not Hold the Candle.
but fucking
No, that movie was wild. What am I saying?
okay, so when we went there,
I mean, we once saw
when I first went there,
a fight in full Halloween costumes.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. We'll save that one for later, though.
Okay.
okay, but when I first went there, everybody seemed to be around the same age, from 18 to about 26. Maybe.
Allegedly, I was buying underage kids 40s to tape to their hands.
Very
Oh,
likely.
you did that at one time, and that was
don't
actually a
remember this.
small rager. That was a kickback. That wasn't even a rager. That was a kickback. There was maybe 10 people there, and you and I went to Walmart to buy some duct tape. This is incriminating.
Jesus Christ, I remember.
We
this.
went to buy some duct tape
I don't
and some
remember this.
40s at a gas station to duct tape to
Muscles, hands.
muscles.
I'll name drop that.
Let me
Those real
kick off.
names.
Let me
Name-
kick off
name-
the
name
scene
drop
and how this
Michaels.
started.
Okay. I don't remember.
Good story. It all started with me being at home, living in the countryside. Of course, I don't have friends that live like next door. I mean, my closest.
Oh,
friend
this is how
lived,
the parties
5 minutes
began.
Oh, the party
Wow,
started, not
okay.
that specific party. Yeah.
and I'm just at home all the time, just chilling, watching movies. I think it was bodybuilding at the time. Not anymore though.
Good job.
That was
And,
you.
I
That
just-
was you bringing
my
this
dad
cornhole.
was like, "Hey, invite some friends over, get some people over here, have them chill out." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I started inviting a few friends over. I had Rock Band at the time. Rock Band 2 was out, so we were playing some Rock Band 2, and it was cool. We were just chilling. I think weed got introduced to the party before drinking, but yeah, I had a few friends come over sometimes, and they're like, we brought some beers, and I'm like, well, I'll have a beer too, and that led to a life of alcoholism. A few friends turned into a few more, which turned into, what was it, 30, 40 people average a night?
Yeah.
And
This was every Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah. Most days on the weekdays too.
During the summer, yeah.
It was whenever anyone was available. They'd come over, and everybody's doing something over here tonight. they would come by and
your house became the party house of our Tri-City regions here. Like there'd be people from Parlier, there'd be people from Reedley, there'd be people from all over this this area, and it was wild.
We always regulated though. I had you, one of my bigger guys, and I had a few, Nick, Sell, Sanders, Jared. We were all there to just make sure everybody kept their cool, which is not something we had to stress very much because for a lot of these kids, they just wanted to get high, get a little loud, drink a few beers, play some beer pong. And that's what we did for a few years, actually. That went on for a while.
It did.
But I
have to thank you that because like I'd never honestly didn't experience a lot of that shit anywhere other than that place. Like I'd been to parties, sure, but nothing that was that wild. Nothing that was that. And it was always like something you could do. Like if you were at home and you're like, I don't have anything to do, let's just go to Stevens. And it would be one of those things where you just drive there. You know, I don't even call you or anything because you probably didn't have your phone. Yeah. It was probably playing music.
Dad or playing music, yeah.
So I would we would just drive there and there'd be people there. And it was just a destination spot. Honestly, you probably had the most poppin' bar in town.
There were a lot of connections I made. A lot of great friends. The Sanger girls, of course, shout out to Chelsea, Vania, Rosalina, Erica, Lauren Lowrider. Those are just like my main 5 girls I always had around. Great friends. Led me to some other great friends. That's when I started dancing. It's when I felt comfortable dancing, you know? Who the fuck feels comfortable dancing in high school? No one wants to be Ricky Ricardo, you know? Like, what's up with that guy? Why is he dancing? No, like, we just went out there, did our thing, moved how we wanted to. Let's talk about the crazy moments, though. Oh, let's see. There was this one time, probably my favorite moment would have been Edward 40 Hands when, I think, was it you, Chewy, who brought the duct tape out?
Yep.
And we duct taped these Mikeys to our hands, or some green Mikeys to our hands, and we got plastered. But what was great about this time around is I was early. I just started drinking, so the alcohol didn't affect me as much. So wake up the next day and go to work. I did this for a few summers on. That was one of the better nights. Let's see here. There was this one night where we got really trashed. Beer pong all night, a lot of dancing, and I woke up in my hammock the next morning, and my mom was like, "What the fuck did you do?" And like, there's just this trash scattered all around me, and I'm waking up out of my hammock like some beach bum, and I'm like, "That was a good night." Started cleaning that shit up. One of the crazier nights, though, probably when it came to an end, was when my dad, well, it was actually my little brother. He invited his whole class of 2008, which was 2008 plus 4, 12. Oh. Sorry, I've had a few too many. They all came by and they packed the shit out of that backyard like I had never. But they were all underage, just slamming beers, and I'm like, "Oh, you get the fuck out!" I had a gun pulled out on me. Most of you Dinuba guys came at me. Fuck you guys if you're around his age. I had to bounce them all out. It was crazy. That's when they took a decline and people weren't allowed in that backyard anymore.
I remember one time that I went there. I saw like it was one of those weird moments where you like look around at your settings like you didn't realize were forming while you were there. And I looked around and I looked at the people that were playing beer pong and I was like, they're like 14. I got to get out of here. I'm like 24 right now. This is like a year and a half into his parties. Like, I got to get out.
Yeah,
like,
honestly, Steven,
what the fuck happened here?
It was your house that inspired me to graduate college. I was like, I think I was just sitting there one day and I was like, yeah, you know what? It's over. It's time to start doing better and fly right.
It was seeing a lot of these little kids
just better.
A lot of just like these little kids just hooking up, meeting these like really attractive girls, and it's like, man, I could top this guy. I'm going back to school though. I had the same drive, and we're all still at it. But shout out to Chewy though for all his accomplishments. I know he's graduated with his what was it, the AA and then the BA.
Yeah, I had an AA in general studies.
But he kept going. And he's doing great. Mike Stein, he's gonna be all right. I caught him off guard last time I said that. House parties, be careful.
That was with our deleted podcast of
Still
tonight.
golden. Still golden.
Still got him.
In the beginning of this podcast, I wasn't sure if we were going to be able to make it to an hour on 2 subjects, and we did it. We actually made it to an hour on 2 subjects.
We had kind of 3 subjects. We talked about Black Panther and Black China, so find a way 4 subjects.
Yeah.
Let's hear it for that Black China challenge.
You know what? It's about that time of the podcast where we can just, like, relax. And I think I'm going to look up the Black China challenge real quick.
It's interesting.
There's a lot of good jokes in there mixed with some videos. But, yeah, man.
Hey, yo, but shout out to Nick Sanders and Juju, Michelle for always having me over personally. Let's get these 2 goons over. They'll make for some great conversation.
Yep. That's what that is.
I hope Chewy found it.
You found it. You found the challenge.
Yeah.
Yep. Kind of overshadows the Black Panther challenge. Yeah. Anyways, to those that cannot view the things that we talk about, a video of a Muppet was shown right now. Some sort of Muppet. I don't know. But apparently Muppets can do better than Black China herself. You know, should we judge her on this one video? Maybe she just wasn't into the guy, you know? Like, maybe she...
was regretting it.
Yeah, was regretting it at the moment, but just had to go. You know, you just couldn't back out, but, just trying to get it done with, and, didn't want to give it her all, I can't judge her on this, not saying that I've seen the video or Googled it,
Until next time, goodbye.